Hi, welcome to Illuminated Tarot. My name is Jenna. Today I'm here to do a collective reading for November 25th through December 1st. Welcome in. I have a lot to cover today. I'm excited to sit here with you all, and thank you for tuning in. So, here we are. Sagittarius season started on the 21st of November. It's a beautiful time where we notice that what has been stuck for too long is going to keep it moving forward. So, get ready for any lifting of stagnancy, of the energies moving kind of slowly. We are entering into a retrograde period, but I'm getting this vibe already that it's not going to be that bad, especially not as rough as the last one we had a few months ago. So Sagittarius season is a time where we might feel a surge in confidence. And my request or my encouragement to you is to allow this season, let the path unfolding for you this time of year to be a new adventure. But a new adventure can't begin, I guess, without this other side of the coin around retrograde energy, which is really where we have an opportunity to become the editors of our lives, to rewrite our stories, to cut away at the things that no longer belong. So we might be rerouted. And I think that also Sagittarius is a time for us to really be passionate about our own truth. And you might see that reflected back in the interactions that you have. A lot of us are going to be seeing friends and family that we might not always see. And it's just, I've been getting to in the end of year readings where I'm kind of combining the end of November with December. This energy surge of people really stepping up and claiming their power, and also holding compassion at the same time, which can be tricky. So let's get into the Instagram inspiration. The Sagittarius season started on the 21st. We're going to be in that for the next couple weeks. And then I just pointing out dates here. The retrograde starts today. And that's going to be for the next 3 weeks. So just be a little bit more mindful when you're out there through the hurried holiday season, because people are going to feel the same energy. Just, misunderstandings may occur. Be careful before you react to something. Give yourself that moment to pause. All right. So I have an interesting, I'm going to share with you. This has been on my windowsill for the last year. In the spirit of Thanksgiving, this is Chief Massasoit, and he's this little figurine. I actually live in the area where the first Thanksgiving was ever held. And this chief was a great friend to the Pilgrims, the early Pilgrims. And he got invited to the first Thanksgiving ever in 1621. And he brought with him 100 tribal members that helped the Pilgrims with hunting and fishing and harvesting, planting, cooking, all the like, so they could thrive. So we have to thank Chief Massasoit for the early beginnings of the Americas here in North America. I have him on my windowsill to remind me of our connection to the past, and also to be grateful for everything that the earth provides for us. This is the time where we harvest the bounty, the cornucopia of, all of the deliciousness that the earth provides. So let this time period be a period of gratitude. I thank Chief Massasoit almost every day when I'm doing the dishes. And I often have little conversations with him, believe it or not. So that's my woo-woo statement for the day over here at Illuminated Tarot. I love his braids. He's just so regal. You can tell he has a kind face. He's got a kind face. Okay, so the first, in the spirit of gratitude, the first Instagram inspiration I have is by Danny Morell. Gratitude is the foundation of an abundant life. When you embrace gratitude, you stop chasing and realize that every experience, past and present, has shaped the gift of who you are. Things to be grateful for: what left, what stayed, what's on the way. That was by Nikia Homer. And then Vex King, things I'm leaving in 2024, people-pleasing habits, fixing what I didn't break, disregarding my intuition, carrying uneven relationships, showing up where I'm not valued, and apologizing for healthy boundaries. All right, this one made me chuckle last night. Case Kenny. By the way, I figured it out. The purpose of life is to take crazy leaps of faith and call it research for your future memoir. You can just tell people that. If you've got people, at the Thanksgiving table, and they're like, what? Really? Like, you're going to do that? And you're like, yeah, call it research, for your future memoir. I thought that was really cute. All right. Now, I thought this was fascinating. I really sat with it last night, and I thought, this is very true. And this is to all the people who choose to be single, who either you're widowed or you just really enjoy your own company and you are not feeling that push to partner. This is from the 5D State of Mind, the truth about being single. So I do have a lot of people that follow this channel who are really focused on spiritual development. And I do know that we find the light in our shadow, and you don't need to have a romantic partner for that. But there's a reason why a lot of people are choosing, and I think this will be kind of a trend as we move forward in the collective, in our evolution, where people actually decide, I'd rather be single. And we do need to make room for that in our understanding of what it means to be human, that it's a choice. And that people who choose to be single, there's no lesser degree of worthiness in being on a solitary path. In fact, many of the most enlightened people didn't have partners at certain points in their lives, if at all. All right. What people don't realize is that some people are single in this generation because they have done a lot of the healing work, which makes them incompatible for trauma bonds. Unfortunately, trauma bonding is the template for our broken culture. Anyone who chooses peace over trauma will have difficulty being in a relationship because many people with whom they meet are still dealing with emotional damage in some way. Healed people seek euphoric bonds because these bonds support authenticity and healthy connection. And I believe that's where we're evolving. And if you find that you're in a period of being single, embrace it, because it means that you've stepped out of the trauma bond paradigm. I'm not saying that all relationships are trauma bonded. I would just say more than healed relationships exist on this planet at this time. And finding the light in the shadow, you can do it without a trauma bond or with. And I do believe that our future as a collective is to be more healed and to seek out euphoric bonds that allow you to be authentic and to be in a healthy connection. And that's where I think a lot of us are shifting toward. And I can't wait to see how the tarot shifts in the coming years around that energy frequency. And then the last one. This one was funny. I'm like, I must really be grown up. I got my calendar for the recycling. I've had homes, but I don't know why. I've never really recalled having a calendar that all of my neighbors are like, they seem to be on it. I'm the one who feels a little foolish. I wheel out my wheelbarrows and I realize, it's not the day. Well, now I'm going to be on it for 2025. I just somehow always miss the calendar. And I posted it, it's in my kitchen. And there for the month of January, it had a quote. There's a quote for every month, and I think I'll probably include it once a month here for the collective reading. But this is by Mahatma Gandhi, and I think it's very appropriate for what's happening right now in the world. This really will span through the annals of time, what he said. You must not lose faith in humanity. Humanity is an ocean. If a few drops in the ocean are dirty, the ocean does not become dirty. Yes, we got to hold the light, you all. Hold the light frequency. Okay, so I've been working with, for some of you who've already seen your end of year reading, I've been working with a new deck called the Enchanted Forest Oracle. It's very magical, mystical, ethereal. We're going to pull a few opening oracle cards to see what's going on this week in the collective. Thank you, Spirit, for presiding over this reading for the collective today. Thank you for your guidance. All right, let's see. Enchanted Forest. Ooh, Those wanted to spill out. Wow. Okay, we're going to take them. It's going to tell a story here. We have a lot of us are gathering with like minds. Tranquil stream, let go of worries and find tranquility this week. Go visit places that are sacred to you. Speak with Chief Massasoit while you're there. Download whatever your ancestors want to gift you with in your understanding of your life this past year. This is a good time to reflect on all the events that have taken place for you in 2024. And remember, right, what we just talked about. What do you want to leave behind? People-pleasing habits for some of you, fixing what you didn't break, disregarding your intuition, carrying uneven relationships, showing up where I'm not valued. So a lot of us may be in deep contemplation about what we intend to for the new year. Beside this beautiful stream is a sacred oak. And the sacred oak is telling you to embrace your inner strength and resilience. We are strong, you all. We are strong when we are united. And when we are united in our compassion and our gratitude, magic happens. And I think that it's time for us. I do feel the last few days, a change in the energy where there's a hopefulness, a current of that. If you will find it and you will grab onto it, I think that you might be in for a wild ride where anything is possible, right? Now, beside the sacred oak and the tranquil stream, we have a community gathering. Find strength and community in shared wisdom and purpose. Come together with people that you love, that love you. We're talking about all beings. Nature is a being. The trees are beings. The stones, the waterways, our very words that we share with others is energy. So there's a feeling of camaraderie, a feeling of coming together around the sacred fire, communing with the elements, giving thanks, celebrating the journey of life. I love that. And then not far from this gathering by the sacred oak and the tranquil stream, we have the stone circle where we find unity and connection with those closest to us, where we get to share all the parts of us, both light and shadow. Let this week be a beautiful time, a beautiful offering of all that you hold dear. All that you hold dear, you all. I feel it. I feel like there's a softening to the collective, to this very earth. We're all, it's that web of connectivity. It's stronger. It's becoming more fortified in this new frequency. More joyful, more hopeful, more faithful. Let's now go into the tarot, okay? And let's see. I'm going to put these up here. Actually, they're telling me before I go into the tarot, I did this last week and I feel like it's going to be needed now. We're going to pull Keepers of the Light to join us on this journey this week. So whenever you feel downtrodden or like you need a boost, turn to this Keeper of the Light. This is going to be a very strong energy supporting the collective this week. All right, what Keeper of the Light wants to step forward, Spirit, this week for this beautiful time to commune with our families and friends, to appreciate what the earth has provided us. Woo! Kali Ma. Kali Ma. Thank you. Facing fear. Maybe that's what we've decided to do. You know, when we face, the darkness, it's not so scary. It's sometimes, our imaginations can run wild. Remember when you were a kid? And I remember I used to be so afraid of like having my limbs hang off the bed because I was worried something was going to pull me under. Yeah. I don't do that anymore. But it's just so funny how those can be such prominent fears. What does Kali Ma have to say? Major spiritual changes are unfolding. This is your chance to soar. I love that. What does she have to say? And this is to the entire collective. We're facing our fears. Kali Ma. This is a time when you are able to look fear in the eye and move away from it. Fear is just energy, and energy can be changed. This can be an intense experience because the human self is so conditioned that it may be used to operating with fear present. When the fear is gone, this is so true. This is what's changing. We're facing the fear collectively. We're saying, well, you don't own me. When the fear is gone, it may feel as though an emptiness is there, but this is the space for love and miracles to enter. You are being filled with the courage of spirit now, so that you can move from this phase of your life to the next. Trust the process and call on Kali Ma to help you release your fear and step into a space that's strong, focused, and courageous. And what a better time than during Sag season. Aiming true, right? Aiming higher. We can always go higher, you all. Okay, well, with that in mind, we're going to put her right in the dead center of all of that beautiness with Chief Massasoit. He's looking at me. He's helping me with this reading. Okay. Actually, you know what? I don't think you'll see him here, but actually, we'll put him right here. How about that? So he can have his messages to you. Now, let's go into the tarot. What can the collective expect this week? As hopefully a lot of you are taking some time off, at least Thursday and Friday. Enjoying some good movies and some good food. Some good nature walks, hopefully. Good music. All right, Spirit. Let's see. Strongest energies for the week ahead for the collective. You all, the Ten of Pentacles. I'm going to point out a few of this. We have the sacred geometry here and this mandala. Everything coming full circle for the collective. It's a time to rejoice. Look at everybody smiling and happy. Some of you may be dancing after dinner, or dancing in the kitchen. Turn up the volume to the spirit of fun this week. That's what I'm getting. Play. Life is to be savored, to be enjoyed. Whatever heaviness that you might be carrying this week, just try to put it aside and just be present. The biggest thing that I've learned when times get really crazy around me and the collective is like, I feel like the anxiety and the angst and the anxiousness, I get fiercely present because there's nothing to fear if you're not in the future. You're right here, right now. There's no fear there, only what you create in your mind. Okay? And I'm not talking about imminent danger, so different, okay, you all? I'm talking about our normal, regular day-to-day, and typically the things that we imagine, the boogeyman. I never got pulled under on my bed as a child, but I sure did worry about it. Three of Pentacles on the bottom. Oh, wow. Wow, you all. Big energy. Then we have the Wheel and Death coming out along with this. So, this is self-mastery. She's standing on top of the wheel. Look at that. In her tree pose, she's got her light and shadow swirling around her. This is finding calm throughout all the changes and the storms of our lives, finding the peaceful center that is always ever so present. Going through this beautiful period of transformation, casting away the old, looking into the cosmos, seeing our place in it, recognizing that our value and worth is derived from who we are, who we naturally are always. Remember that this week. It's powerful this week, you all. I mean, the Ten of Pentacles, the Wheel, and the Death. We're moving past Scorpio season. I think a lot of us did look at our shadows a little bit more. Some of us might be revisiting the past, things that have ended during retrograde season. And it's going to bring a change of perspective around what you want for your life long term. What really wants to stay in a healthy way and what needs to go because it's just not fitting anymore. All right, let's now clarify. I want to clarify the Wheel. What are these changes coming in this week? Destined changes. This is the law of karma, cause and effect, along with death, transformation, rebirth, renewal. And the Ten of Pentacles. Abundance, prosperity, long-term goals, long-term connections. There's changes in the air to all of it. I love this time of year. It really is a time to rejoice. Rejoice being alive. Wow, yeah. Let go of what has ended, what needs to remain ended. Ten of Swords. It's also a lot of us are moving past the karmic cycle, the karmic wheel, where we've really had a lot of that play out so we can do the shadow work. Our destiny is to move past that. I think we'll always have a certain element of that, but the majority of it, the harder part of it, I feel like it then becomes a choice. Whether you want to perpetuate the harder lessons or free it up to the easier ones. Yeah, and then the Ten of Wands just poked out. Drop the burden. Whatever burden you might be carrying, it's time for a change. I knew it. I said, you know what? That devil's going to show up. So some of you have to look in the eye of what's unhealthy. This is why I was talking about trauma bonding. Spirit is saying it's time for us to come out of unhealthy attachment patterns. I was talking with a friend last night, a deeply spiritual friend, and we were talking about that she asked me, like, why do you think a lot of this, it's played out in your life, trauma bonding, and what is your belief around that? And I actually, my first, initial, she was asking I love friends that ask these really deep questions, and it makes you really connect dots. It's almost in a form of therapy. And it's safe, I said, well, I suppose it's ancestral healing, a lot of it, because my ancestors didn't have the opportunity to be in the soup, right, of consciousness that we are in now. And now I'm given that baton, and I'm going to do something about it so my lineage doesn't have to suffer in the same way my ancestors did. So this is the karmic wheel changing for the better, for the entire collective on this planet, as we reach for higher light codes and we start to step away from these darker, heavier, more unhealthy patterns of connecting with others, of playing out the shadow. So if you've been doing this work, this is generational trauma healing so we can have healthy partnerships. Know that it's deeper than just our individual lives. This is about the future 7 generations, which is how Native Americans view all of their actions, all of their consumer power, everything takes into consideration the whole. And that's what we're heading toward, the whole. It's not just me, myself, and I, it's the whole. How does this impact my family? How does this impact my body? How does this impact my lineage? This is lineage thinking. Would I want my daughter to put up with something like this? Would I want my son to put up with this? Even if you don't have children, would I want offspring of offspring, nieces, nephews? We all have families. And I think that this is about doing our part. This is big. This is big. This is also looking at what needs to change. What is this fear that you need to face? So whatever you're afraid, this is the season where you're going to have that surge in confidence to tackle it, to learn from it, to absorb the lesson, and to change your very frequency. What's the death here? Wow, that all wanted to come out. We have the 4 of Pentacles. Ooh, okay. We're going to have more advice, yeah. Okay, so we have to believe in the abundance of the universe and to hold on to our hope and faith right now and to put that energy toward positivity. I'm getting that as a collective. It's time to stay positive for the road ahead. We came here for this. We know what to do. This is like, in those movies where it's like go time and you're getting the green light. Okay, this is like, this is the go time, this era over the next 20 years. This is where we make the changes in small steps. But when we look back 20 years from now, we'll be grateful that we did this collective shadow work. Because where we're headed in the advice is truly healing the inner child wounds, finding love and peace for all. We are all human beings. We are all beyond the shell that we call our bodies. We are all light. And I think the more we recognize that in each other, the more compassion will spread across this planet. And the more we can rejoice in the celebration of what it means to be human and alive. And we will be innocent yet again. So I feel like there's this big collective energy. I went that way. But as far as your individual life, a lot of us are reuniting with true soul partners. Whether they're romantic or platonic, this is the time where your tribe, it's time to lean in. Let them fortify you. Let it strengthen you. Let it embolden you to see your life as an adventure again. Because it is. This is the grandest adventure you could ever take. A trip to planet Earth? Come on. I mean, have you ever seen a sunrise? Have you ever swam in the ocean? Have you ever climbed a mountain? Have you ever, eaten an orange and gotten it all over your face? Have you ever smelled a rose? Like, you can't do that when you're all light. So celebrate the fullness and richness of being alive. That's what Sag season's all about. And celebrate the adventure of it all. All right. Let's go into Mark Nepo. Y'all are getting me all. I'm pumped. I am super pumped for life lately. I'm pumped. I'm excited. I have a lot of hope and faith. I will always be an eternal optimist. So let's see what Mark has to say for November 25th. Compassion. I have just 3 things to teach. This is Latsu. Simplicity, patience, compassion. These are your treasures. Compassionate toward yourself, you reconcile all beings in the world. Yeah. Once you heal those childhood wounds and you end those toxic patterns, you reconcile all beings in the world. It really is like, it's one of those things that you don't recognize it until you arrive there. And you can't possibly know what it feels like fully. Until then, simplicity, patience, compassion. At first, we might ask, how can being compassionate to yourself reconcile all beings in the world? To understand the gift of this, we need to recall the analogy of the spoked wheel. Interesting. This is. In which each life is a separate and unique spoke, and yet all lives, like those spokes, meet in a common hub or center. That's why when we tend our deepest center, we care for all souls. Another powerful way to realize our interconnectedness is to imagine the human family as a stand of aspens growing by a river. Though each tree appears to be growing independently, not attached to the other, beneath the soil out of view, the roots of all trees exist as one enormous root. And so, like these trees, our soul's growth, while appearing to be independent, is intimately connected to the health of those around us, for our spirits are intertwined at center, out of view. Once realizing this, it becomes clear that we have no choice but to embrace the health of our neighbors as part of our own health. I felt this deeply in the many cancer rooms I sat in. I know these things to be true. In cutting off strangers, we cut off ourselves. In choking roots, we choke our own growth. In loving strangers, we love ourselves. Having come this far, I believe that Latsu's 3rd instruction tells us that if we are aware of our own suffering with the wish to relieve it, we will overcome distrust and reestablish a close relationship with all other living things. In deep and lasting ways, when we heal ourselves, we heal the world. Wow. When we heal ourselves, we heal the world. For as the body is only as healthy as its individual cells, the world is only as healthy as its individual souls. Wow. Across the centuries, we have this timeless medicine. Live directly, wait, and care for your soul as if it were the whole world. Breathe slowly and feel your heart constrict and dilate as your eyes do. Breathe slowly and care for your soul with each breath. Feel your heart expand. Feel your sense of self open. Breathe slowly and feel your sense of the world open as you care for your soul. It is soul care. Soul care. Wow, that was perfect. That was so perfect. I almost want to leave it there, but I felt called to pull from a sacred earth oracle for the self-care of this week. because of our beautiful connection to the indigenous cultures around the world, to rejoice in the bounty of our fellow brothers and sisters, of the love and the care and the compassion. Let's get one final oracle, you all. Alchemy. What's underneath that? Spirit. We have alchemy and renewal. Look at that. Look at that. Alchemy and renewal. Look at the brightness, the orange, our sacral chakras, our solar plexus lighting up, the blue hues communicating our truth. Reverence. Reverence. Alchemy and renewal. Let's see what these have to say. Alchemy. The earthly meaning. It is up to you to acknowledge an obstacle as impermanent, regardless of who is to blame. It is your responsibility to defy a false limitation. A quirk or idiosyncrasy is a strength. Bring it out and own it. Individuality is a precious gem. Throw your woes into the smelting pot and craft them into powerful tools. Experiment with what you have and give it value. Spiritual meaning. Life is perpetual movement, and yet life is also still. Life is change, and yet it is also unchanging. You are part of this moving stillness, changing and unchanging through time and eternity. Something is moving within a still part of you, and yet something is still within the moving part of you. Meditate on this. Feel complete oneness in your being. Wow. And then renewal. Renewal. I opened right to it. The earthly meaning. Giving something a try is not making a lifelong obligation. Thank you, Spirit, for that. I love that. You can switch, swap, and refine your interests, friends, lovers, career, plans, home as often as you like. If something doesn't fit right, try something new. And if that doesn't work out, try something else. What you're looking for could be around the next corner. There is no failure in moving on or starting over. The spiritual meaning. Listen, your heart is calling. A thirsty heart cannot be quenched by logic. It must drink from the well of life and be replenished. Each time it breaks, it comes to hold more, but its essence does not change. Your heart holds your truth in every breath. What does it say? Listen, and you shall be reborn. Wow. Thank you for this. This is a beautiful reading. Thank you, Spirit, so much. So grateful. I'm so grateful, just simply grateful for all of you and for the journey that we have, that we share. Thank you. Namaste.